The little girl's mom was here on the beach, turned her back to the water while her little 9-month-old was playing here in the sand. He actually tried to eat some of it, but she was distracted, though, turned back around, and she couldn't see her 3-year-old. They're working on some of the overhead signs on the connector. They're also working down here on some of these bridge joints and making some patches to this concrete median wall. This pile of muck came out of one manhole cover on this one street. You can find sand and rocks and rags. That's common. What's not common, maybe this piece of glass, not sure where that came from, and even a shotgun shell. You can see where that high water washed over the road here and just how far it has fallen in the last 24 hours. That's the river down there, but what it's left behind, if you look down, is all this muck and silt on the road. The good thing about this, all they have to do is spray it off with a hose. I'll walk you through where this car went through 2 different yards. If you look down on my feet, this track right here on this manhole cover, I barely missed a fire hydrant here and a light pole, then came across Tudor Drive here. And if you walk with me, you'll see where these tracks pick up again here in the grass right down here at my feet. There was a chain link fence actually right here where I'm standing, right where this yellow police tape is right now. But if you kind of pan off to the right, you'll see where that SUV, that Toyota 4Runner, ended up into that house. It actually is a crawl space right there. There's cinder blocks missing. You can actually see into what is a bedroom right there on the side of the house. The bricks are all missing. We can see some insulation. There was a mother and a young toddler, a little boy, sleeping inside. They were not injured in this accident, but the driver was pinned, trapped for a while. They had to airlift her to the hospital. We did talk to neighbors who heard this, what sounded like an explosion.
Just a loud noise. I mean, I couldn't see it, but I heard it and I jumped up out my sleep. And my wife said, "What was that?" And I thought somebody was back in my yard, so I came out.
They have towed away that vehicle here, but you can see it left a big mess behind. The woman and her child are out of the home. We did try to speak with them. They're not wanting to talk to us right now. Obviously, very shaken up, but we are hearing from more neighbors, and we just talked to Clayton County Police. They say this could have been a drunk driver, could have been a medical condition. They're just working right now to figure out exactly what led to this woman plowing into the home. Justin, some of those root systems toppled over because of the wet ground and high winds. Others, like this one, just had the bark completely blown off. Actually, this one is a little bit rotted inside. You can see, and up top, about 8 to 10 feet up, that's where it snapped. The rest of it is just kind of fallen over. And we found trees like this down on roads, on power lines, even on a house. The good news, no one was killed or hurt badly. The root ball of this more than 100-year-old tree is taller than a person and now standing straight up in the air.
Probably the hardest rain I've seen in a long time.
The storm took out trees on the property of this family physician's office.
It came through here and took these trees, those trees that came across that Canton Elementary over there.
On Oakdale Road, neighbors grabbed their own chainsaws to cut through a tree blocking the street. But it will take a little more work to get this tree off Richard Dean's house.
The ceiling in the utility room right here is split, and water came pouring down through there with all the rain we had.
He watched from the sunroom as the tree seemed to fall in slow motion.
So all I could see was a trunk coming toward the house, you know. Issued a 4-letter word, and that was the end of that.
Bob Castile was sitting in this truck as a huge tree cracked and split just feet away.
It was pretty interesting. It was rocking my truck. I'm pretty sure it was probably the real close to a tornado.
Whatever it was, those that escaped unharmed are glad all they now have to worry about is the cleanup.
But the house is fine, so none of us are hurt, and we're very grateful.
Hundreds are still without power here in Cherokee County. At one point, 4,600 were without power. They're working to get all those folks back online, but it could be well until tomorrow. And the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office telling folks not to be on the roads. There's still power lines down. Just stay at home tonight. Live in Cherokee County and Canton, Steve Gehlbach, Channel 2 Action News Night Beat. Sophia, it's just a sad day here. The flags out front are at half staff at headquarters. We just talked with the chief, and he says he had to console the family. Talked with Officer Klusman's mother and father. We learned he has 2 children as well. He's a fairly new officer here with the DeKalb County Police. Just graduated from the academy back in April and just finished up his training. Was only on the street patrolling by himself for the last 2 weeks before he was killed. A traffic investigator returned to DeKalb Medical Parkway after sunrise to take more photos and mark the road. Around 2:45 Saturday morning, DeKalb police officer Ivory Klusman crashed through the red fence and into a large tree while responding to a call.
This is very hurtful and very difficult for us as a police department, as a community.
DeKalb Police Chief Cedric Alexander said the officer made a traffic stop nearby, got the driver's information, but the car sped off. After a short chase, the pursuit was called off by a supervisor. Moments later, another officer a couple miles away spotted the car.
Officer Klusman heard that, headed in that direction, and of course was on DeKalb Medical Parkway at that time when this tragic accident occurred.
The marks on the pavement start back in front of Miller Grove High School as it comes up over this hill, and then it gets right next to the curb. We don't know if he got up on this curb, but then if you follow those marks, they swerve off to the left across both lanes. The marks show where he then went up over the sidewalk. The car first hit this smaller tree and snapped it off. It used to be standing right about here, but then the car veered off down this hill, hit that larger pine tree. The impact stripped the bark right off, and police say killed the officer instantly. The driver in the car the officer was going after got away, but police say they will find him.
We're going to pursue this right to the end. We won't stop.
We are working to get a photo of Officer Klusman, and we also just found some video that we shot at that graduation here back in April. We'll let you see that coming up on Channel 2 Action News at 6. In the meantime, they're still trying to piece this together, how he lost control in this single vehicle accident. They do want to find the couple that came across this and called it in to police. They stayed on the line with 911 operators, tried to help, but they don't know who that couple is. They would like them to come forward, basically just so they can say thank you. Live in DeKalb County, Steve Gehlbach, Channel 2 Action News.